Today, the church opens heaven to us and presents to our view our Lord Jesus, the Son of God, sitting at the right hand of God, his eternal Father. Near him, Mary, the Queen of Heaven, then the 9 choirs of angels, and finally, the countless multitude of the saints who, clothed in the white robes of innocence and purity, bearing palms in their hands, the emblem of victory over the enemies of salvation, stand before the throne of God, where they cry out with loud voice, saying, "Salvation to our God, who sits upon the throne, and to the Lamb." This is what the image the church wants us to have today. Throughout the year, we venerate every individual saint, and today we gather them all together to admire what God has done for them. On one hand. On the other hand, to encourage us on to reach the victory that it is now theirs. So holiness is our vocation. That we have nothing else to do in this world than to be holy. And if you ask, what is it that we need to do in order for us to be holy? Well, you have to overcome the enemies of your salvation first. Secondly, you have to make sure that you have the desire to go to heaven. Without that desire, you're not going to heaven. So, all you do in life is to work out your salvation. And that implies working against your passions, making sure that you know what is your greatest weakness, and using all the means available for your salvation. We have, certainly, and that is true, we have a certain image of the saints. That image helps us excuse ourselves from putting out everything we have in order to reach salvation or holiness. How many of us say, well, I cannot go to heaven, I cannot be holy, because, the passions that I have, that temperament that I have, I cannot become holy because of the corruption of the world in which I live. I cannot be holy because, I'm married, or I work at a certain place, things like that. Those are excuses. Because the truth of the matter is that you don't want to be holy because there is no willingness there for you to go to heaven. That's what it is. It is either lack of willingness or plain laziness. Plain laziness. That's all that is there. Simple. So every day, that's all we do. We work out our salvation. There are no excuses. Some people even say, well, the saints had so many graces and benefits that we don't have. They went to the same Mass that you are attending at this moment. They received the same sacraments. They had the same faith. They had a lot worse obstacles than you do. Because if you ask, when is it that we had more saints than ever? The first 3 centuries of the church. During that time, there was no difference between being Christian and being saints. So now things happened the other way. People bring their kids to be baptized only to betray their religion. But before, everyone wanted to, there was a moment in history when the church prohibited martyrdom. Thousands of people wanted someone to kill them for the faith. They were always looking for their lives to be taken to give witness for the faith. Nowadays, we have the example of all the saints, something that they didn't have. We have the sacraments, the same faith, the same Mass, the same benefits, the same grace. We don't have any more difficulties. For example, one single thing. How many Catholics do we have in this country? Thousands, millions of Catholics. When was the last time we had a Catholic president? Same. That is a shame. That is a shame. We don't have a Catholic president because Catholics are, wasting time somewhere else. Distracted with something else. That's what it is. If we have so many Catholics, we should have a president. Now we have to suffer with, something worthless, a waste of time. That's what it is. So the church wants you to find courage in really, putting yourselves to work. Find the means for your sanctification and do it. See? As I said, you are not going to heaven if you don't have the desire to be a saint. So that's the first thing. Build up within you the desire to go to heaven. You have the sacraments, the graces, everything is ready. The only thing lacking is your willingness. We have so accustomed ourselves to this world that we have the tendency to believe that, as long as you don't kill anyone, you still can go to heaven. That's a lie. See? If your justice does not surpass that of the Pharisees, you are not going to inherit the kingdom of heaven. Jesus told his disciples. See? So, where you are, what you do, everything you go through during the week, those are the means for your sanctification. You don't have to do anything extraordinary. Just do well everything you do for the love of God. See? The beginning of holiness is grace. If you live in sanctifying grace, you are beginning to be holy. Persevere in sanctifying grace. Increase that grace by doing good works, and then pray that your desire to go to heaven may increase.